Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my review for Weymouth Youth Wrestling, or WYW for short. And if you guys are probably wondering why you've seen the lack of WYW videos as of late, well, that's because I've been busy. I had to catch up on other videos first, and then we had an Easter holiday where I had to go up to New Hampshire, so I really couldn't do any videos at that point. And then Easter, I was home yesterday, but I was kind of not really in the mood to do videos. That happens sometimes. I was going to do the video like right after I ate, and then I ate and had to do homework and just crashed right afterwards, so it wasn't really happening. So I'm here to give you guys, though, the video now, because I want to get these done because we have Immortal coming up like literally this Saturday, so I want to make sure I have all this content done before that, so I don't want to be like rushing to do it. So right now I have a good amount of time to do it. So yeah, I'm excited about it. So let's kind of like preview the show a little bit. This is now the quarterfinals of the Gold Rush tournament. This is now the Excellent 8. I'll probably go through, later on in the video, everyone that's in the Excellent 8. But I'll just go through what the matches are on this show. So we have Michael X versus Brandon Curtis. Obviously, Michael X has been running roughshod in the tournament, and Brandon Curtis, same thing. And then we have James the Archangel versus Brett Mention. That's going to be a big match. Obviously, you have Brett Mention, who took out James the Archangel's, mentor, his best friend, Johnny Starr. So this match has a lot of personality. I mean, not a lot of personality, a lot of tension in it. It's a blood feud, so I'm really excited about that match. I believe, I might be wrong about that these are going to be cell block matches, but I don't really want to say anything until I watch the episode. So if it is, then cool, but if it's not, then not cool. But we also have some other matches in here. We have some non-tournament matches. We have, continuing the Althena Championship Tournament, we're going to have another triple threat elimination match. Jonah Ramos versus Jenna Lee versus Brittany Mahomes. That's going to be, I haven't seen any of the wrestlers yet, so I really don't know how that's going to be. And we're going to have an open challenge on this show. Owen Finch, which is myself, is going to be calling out an open challenge to any professional wrestler in the world that was like a free agent at the time. Who's going to come out and accept my challenge? We'll see. That match will have to be very I'll have to try to be impartial too, even though I'm in the match. I gotta remain impartial being a reviewer. So yeah, those are pretty much all of the matches that are going to be on the show. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. And as the episode happens, I'll pause it after each match or segment and stuff and give my thoughts on it. But now that I've kind of gone and previewed it very lamely, let's just get right into the review. And I hope you guys enjoy the new quality. I know I just did the wrestling rundown and you saw the new webcam and stuff, but I'm really excited about it. Kind of updated production again on the Wrestling Fortune 44 channel. But now that I've kind of gone through that, let's watch the episode now. Okay, so the episode was uploaded on August 3rd, 2018. I say that because I forgot to say it in the last review, so I want to make sure I say it here. And the episode actually started off with a tribute. This is one of the only times that President of WYW, James Hebert, broke character. I thought it made sense because, there were bigger things going on at the time, because at the time we had two deaths that had taken place in the wrestling business and outside the business of itself. First being from Weymouth police officer Michael C. Chesner, who died of tragic injuries, and James Hebert did a tribute for him. He talked about a story that he remembered of him, and you can just watch the tribute. It was very well done. I thought, James Hebert said some very nice stuff about Michael C. Chesner, so you can watch that. And he did like a 10-belt salute to him, and then he did one for Leon White, also known as Big Van Vader, who had died at this time. I've talked about Vader before, so you can just go on the channel around that portion in time and watch my story of Vader. I believe it's on James's channel as well. And he did a 10-belt salute to him. And I thought these tributes were very well done. So I want to make sure I mention those. So now that I have, on to the actual episode itself. Okay, so next we had a video package really hyping up the Excellent 8. So it showed WYW in its beginning, doing the test matches, and then going into round 1 of the tournament, and then round 2. And now we're at the Excellent 8. The winners of these matches are going to go to the Fantastic Four. And like I talked about before, I like that each part of the bracket has its own name. It's something I've never seen before, and I think it's pretty cool. And now these matches are going to be 2 out of 3 falls. So if you thought, you know, rounds 1 and 2 were awesome matches, we haven't seen anything yet. And I'm really excited about it. And we have the participants in the tournament. I'll say them right now. We have James Archangel, Brett Mention, Michael X, Brandon Curtis, Sean Maverick, Taka Michinoku, Kyle Weaver, and Mark Young. We know that James Archangel and Brett Mention are going to face off, and we know that Michael X and Brandon Curtis are going to face off. And I believe Sean Maverick is facing Taka Michinoku, and Kyle Weaver's facing Mark Young. So I'm actually excited about the Excellent 8. I think these are going to be awesome matches in the tournament. And the fact that it's 2 out of 3 falls, I think really ups the ante. I really like that they, went the extra mile to qualify for the semifinals. I believe the semifinals, too, are going to have cell block matches, which is basically war games, except it's one-on-one and you can't use weapons because 2K14 didn't have war games. But it's basically war games rules. And then it's going to be like a TLC match in the finals. Don't quote me on that, though. Well, it's not a TLC match. They call it Full Metal Mayhem. My bad. But I'm excited about these. I thought the video packages were very well done. I like that they updated the brackets. They even talked about the Athena Championship Tournament. I liked how they did that. And I really liked, how it seemed like they updated the promos. But maybe I haven't heard some of them in a while, so I don't remember some of them as well. But this video package was very well done. Definitely have to give it a watch. Okay, so the show takes place at Kansas City, Missouri, in the Sprint Center Arena. And we had Nathan Farrar, Jonathan Caterer, and Casey Gallagher on commentary for this show. And the show kicks right off with a match. It was Owen Finch's Open Challenge. And there was speculation about who could answer this Open Challenge. If it was going to be somebody, in the promotion, someone outside the promotion. And we finally got our answer. It was Wamul Tsunami. He's, a Japanese luchador pretty much, who's made his name all over Japanese. And this was like his first match in WYW. He was debuting here. And I'm going to be made unbiased when, talking about this match, because it's my match. So I can't really, I really can't, play favoritism. But this actually was a really good match. This match was just, a regular standard professional wrestling match. So I'm actually happy about that. I know this is where I get into bias territory. That I was a part of history. I'm making history all the time. I made history by being the first dual champion on the Wrestling Rundown. I made history by, being like one of the shortest champions. I originally at one point was tied with the most reigns. Now I don't have that anymore. I've been on the most episodes of the Wrestling Rundown. I was on the first. I was on the 100th and stuff. And I'm making history again. I was part of the first ever just traditional one-on-one professional wrestling match in WYW. Feels great to make history. I also was part of the, shortest and longest episode of the Wrestling Rundown in history. So, yeah, consistently making history all over the place. But back to the unbiased territory. I I thought this was a really good match. You know, this was the first time that WYW had a traditional wrestling match, and I thought it delivered. Owen Finch was consistently in the beginning of the match one step ahead of Womo Tsunami by going after his legs. He hit a springboard moonsault, a body slam into a springboard moonsault, an elbow drop right across the back. He hit a leg drop from the top turnbuckle, and then he hit a springboard head scissors on the outside, and Owen Finch hit went on the outside, and Fujinami, that's somebody else. Tsunami hit a Torpe Suicida on the outside, and then he attacked Owen Finch on the outside, but Owen Finch reversed the attack coming into the win and hit an elbow while his head was against the apron. And since it's WYW, and it's just a regular wrestling match, there's countouts, but it's only, it's not a 10 count, it's a 20 count. And Owen Finch had a springboard 450. He ended up hitting he went for the Blue Jay splash the first time, but it missed. But then eventually he hit it on the outside, and then eventually he threw Womo Tsunami into the chairs. But then Womo Tsunami, when Owen Finch was charging at him, hits a scoop slam into the chairs. That was pretty damn awesome. Owen Finch hits an elbow drop, and he goes for the Birdman Clash. It gets countered. Womo Tsunami hits a power bomb. Owen Finch kicks out of it. But then eventually the finish comes when Womo Tsunami hits the Whisper in the Wind into the power bomb, and then he hits the corner DDT, which I believe he called the Deviled Win DDT. I forget exactly what it's called, for the win. Which that makes sense. I could complain saying, I'm a loser right now because I haven't won any matches in WYW. But it makes sense for him to win his first match. It's his first match in WYW. You don't want to have Womo Tsunami look like a loser. And they did tie into the fact that I had the concussions from the match with Kyle Weaver in round 1 of the tournament. So that played a factor into it. And I really liked this match. I thought it was a very nice technical match, but that eventually kind of broke into a high-flying match. And it's a different type of match that we really hadn't seen in WYW. So I really like this. I like the fact, this is kind of biased, but not biased, that I didn't look weak in this match, because typically, if someone calls an open challenge, or, has a new guy come into WYW, they get squashed. I like that it actually was a technical wrestling match, so I really like this. As for the match itself, I thought it was really good. I'm going to give it 3 3/4 stars. Not because it's my match. If I was going to be biased, I would give it 4 stars because it's my match, but I'm going to, remain impartial and give it 3 3/4. But then we get to the storyline part of this match. Afterwards, Brett Mention and Corey Dangerous come out, those sons of bitches, and attack Owen Finch. They hit me with a chair. I think it was supposed to be a concerto, but because 2K14 has its moments, it didn't work out that way. Corey Dangerous hits the Dangerous DDT onto the chair and completely destroys the steel chair. And then Brett Mention hits the bull hammer, and Corey Dangerous is about to. He ends up hitting the uppercut, the lift up uppercut. And then they're about to finish me off, but who comes out and makes the save? None other than Chris Dodd, which this makes sense since Chris Dodd was robbed out of the Gold Rush tournament by Corey Dangerous, and he makes the save, and Owen Finch and Chris Dodd together attack Corey Dangerous and Brett Mention, and Owen Finch lays out, I believe, Corey Dangerous with the Birdman Clash, and Chris Dodd hits 2 paychecks on Brett Mention and, throw them out of the ring, and Owen Finch and Chris Dodd stand tall. And I like this. It was kind of, it's setting up a feud between Corey Dangerous, Brett Mention, Chris Dodd, and Owen Finch. So I see this becoming a tag team match in the future. I like this. I thought it was good. And this technically doesn't go against the rules because they have that rule in the Gold Rush tournament matches where, if Chris Dodd, if, you attack the person in the tournament, the match is over. But since there was no match going on, it really didn't happen. Because this isn't going to be the last time we see Brett mention he's still going to wrestle James the Archangel in this show. So, yeah. I like this a lot. I thought this was all a thumbs up. I also got to give credit to the commentary in the Owen Finch, Ramol, I forget his name now off the top of my head, Tsunami. But I got to give credit to the commentary. I thought the commentary was very on par. I actually thought Nathan Farrar was the best on commentary there. I thought he was really on his game. And I really thought he did a very good job. So, yeah, I thought he did a really good job. And the only thing I really, really didn't like, and this isn't really hating him for it, but it's just so corny. I do like the way, by the way, that like all my moves, like big signature moves, types of birds, like for example, the Birdman Clash is called the Golden Finch, stuff like that. I really like that. It kind of fits with my character. That's a bit, that's getting into bias territory. But there was one like cheesy line that Casey Gallagher said where, he said that Ramul Tsunami was working over the wins of Owen Finch. It's just kind of like one of those moments where I just kind of go, but that's just kind of me being a little bit biased because it's just so corny. And, it makes you kind of question if the commentators really think I'm a bird. I think if it's really corny, but yeah, I like this. I thought all of this was a win. One final thing I want to say, too, that's going to be annoying is when I'm talking about myself, I have to refer to myself in third person because it makes me come off like a crazy guy. So I guess I have to get used to it. Okay, so next match is the Gold Rush quarterfinals, Extreme Rules, Falls Count Anywhere, 2 out of 3 falls match. James the Archangel versus Brett Mention. And this match was awesome. It was everything that I wanted and more. Let's break down the story. So obviously this goes back to round 2, episode 1, when Brett Mention took out Johnny Starr. This was somebody that was a close personal friend to James Archangel and somebody that he had a lot of respect for, because Johnny Starr wasn't just James the Archangel's, protege, the person he trained. He trained him in life. He was like one of his best friends. And Brett Mention took him out. I even like how they show the footage of James Archangel watching it, and he's just going crazy. And this goes back even before that, because James Archangel trained Brett Mention to get into the wrestling business, and I think he's a bit disappointed that Brett Mention, about the career path that Brett Mention's chosen to take in WYW. He's disappointed that he's aligned himself with the Maggie Daddy Men, but I think what really gets him is him taking out Johnny Starr. And James Archangel, he wants to win the tournament and become WYW champion, but he also wants to send Brett Mention straight to hell. And I even like Brett Mention, how he talks about how he doesn't care about being the face of WYW, just like James Archangel. And he even talks about, how he says that his ego is big, but James Archangel's ego is even bigger. And Brett Mention talks about how he's just here to win money and win championships, and how he's not the person that James Archangel thought that he was. And this storyline just really built and really grew. And it was just awesome. The match itself was awesome. The opening moments of the match, Brett Mention is just consistently one step ahead of James Archangel. He hits a neck breaker. He works over the legs. He hits a leg drop from the top rope, an elbow drop right across the back. Brett Mention is just consistently one step ahead of James Archangel, and he's just consistently taking him out by hitting the execution onto him, hitting a DDT onto him, a springboard moonsault, a neck breaker. And James the Archangel, every time he would gain some momentum, Brett Mention would consistently cut him off, until eventually James Archangel finally had enough, and he grabs the bell, he cracks Brett Mention with it, and he beats the crap out of him with the bell, but Brett Mention, goes after him. He gets the bell himself, he hits James Archangel coming out of the air when he goes to go for a springboard crossbody, which that was a really damn awesome move. They fight on the outside. Brett Mention hits a suplex when there was a steel steps and a ladder set up on the outside. James Archangel hits a drop kick when Brett Mention's going to grab a ladder. He throws Brett Mention into the steel steps. He hits him with the steps, and Brett Mention and James Archangel exchange ankle locks. James Archangel does the Phoenix stretch, and Brett Mention does a camel clutch. He gets James Archangel into an ankle lock a ton of times. Brett Mention hits a skull crushing finale into the ladder, and then he hits a skull crushing finale just regular on the outside on the floor. But he doesn't get the win off of any of those. And he hits a really cool suplex into the steps. He hits James Archangel off the head with a crutch, which busts him open profusely. Hits a DDT, a foot DDT, and then eventually he hits a skull crushing finale into the steps, and he gets James Archangel into an ankle lock. James Archangel taps out, so since it's 2 out of 3 falls, Brett Mention goes up 1-0, and Brett Mention, continues to dominate James Archangel, but James Archangel finally just has enough, and he gets pissed. He hits a rampage onto the ladder, then a rampage onto the ring bell, which that was really damn awesome. And then he hits the detonation bomb, which is like a power bomb, into the ladder, and then he hits a second one. He hits Brett Mention off the head with a steel chair, which busts Brett Mention open. But Brett Mention gains back control. He kicks James Archangel's head into the steel post, just like he did to Johnny Starr, and he puts him on the announcer's table. He goes for an elbow drop, but James Archangel moves out of the way. He hits a detonation bomb right onto the announcer's table, like the head of it, since it's broken. And then James Archangel doesn't want to go for the pinfall with victory, though. He wants to make Brett Mention tap out. And he gets Brett Mention into the Angels, wins, which is not, what you think it would be. It's actually like a, like a Koji clutch, pretty much. And Brett Mention taps out, which gives them the tie. The tied 1-1, and then the match just really continues at that point. Brett Mention does an ankle lock again. He hits James Archangel off the head with a crutch a second time. He hits him right in the throat with it. James Archangel, when Brett Mention's in the corner, hits him off the head again with a steel chair. He hits a moonsault off the top turnbuckle. He hits a whisper in the wind. Brett Mention hit the bullhammer like 5 times in this match. He hit it like in really cool ways. He hit it once, right after a roll up. He hit it another time. Brett Mention hits an Alabama slam into the barricade, which that was really damn cool, and then he does it into the corner. James Archangel hits a really cool DDT, and then eventually just finally has enough. He hits a detonation bomb into the steel steps that was on the ring steps. This was after Brett Mention had gone off the top rope and did a drop kick, but he ended up going into the steps himself. And then James Archangel, very symbolic to the Johnny Starr match, tells Brett Mention a bird in hell, and he kicks Brett Mention into the ring post, just like Brett Mention did to Johnny Starr, in the exact same way, and like the exact same ring post and everything too. And you think that would be it, but James Archangel, he still isn't done. He pulls out a table, he lights it on fire, and he hits the last detonation bomb through the table that was on fire, which ties in because he said that he was going to make Brett Mention burn in hell. And, you know, he puts him through it, covers him, gets the win. And I love this. I love the way the commentators were acting, where they were really rooting against Brett Mention and all for James Archangel. It felt believable. And this match was just all types of awesome. I'm going to give this match 5 stars. I really can't think of a problem with it. And this is just that type of match that instantly is 5 stars. I like the way that the match just progresses and gets more brutal and more, you know, and really starts to build a story. I think really what made it, though, was definitely James Archangel finally making Brett Mention pay for his sins and, you know, caving his head into the ring post. I thought that was really awesome. And James Archangel makes sense to advance at this point. You know, it was finally time for Brett Mention to get his comeuppance. The only thing I don't like about this match is they didn't really talk about how Brett Mention had suffered damage, you know, earlier on in the show, again, via the hands of Chris Dodd. But other than that, it really didn't take away from the match. I'm not gonna, you know, knock it down a star rating, but this was just awesome. I don't know why this match didn't main event the show. It really should have. But I'm not gonna, you know, have it be a detriment to the match. Maybe the main event's gonna really deliver and really surprise everybody. But yeah, this match was just awesome. Definitely go out of your way to watch it if you haven't watched it yet. Okay, so before I review the next match, I got someone on the phone right now. You wanna say something?
Hi, everybody. This is James Hebert. By now, you know I had to break kayfabe because of a really sad and serious situation. But still, at least I broke kayfabe, and you know who the president is behind the scenes. So hello, and I hope you enjoy this review. And I hope that after this review, you watch the show if you're that kind of person. But if you're not that kind of person, watch the show and then watch this review. That's okay, too, because we're all different. Just like me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very different individual who runs a CAW wrestling show.
Well,
so yeah,
I just had to talk about myself in third person, which was brutal. So,
Did you really?
Yeah, because my match is on this. My match is on this show, so I had to talk.
Yeah. No, I remember.
Yeah. So.
Jesus. All right. Well, I'll let you go back to being insane and letting you do your best impersonation of The Rock.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not. My match is over now, so luckily I don't got to talk about myself in the third person. But
all right, fair enough. Well, enjoy the next match. That is all I will say. And for everyone else, I bid you adieu.
All right, so we have the next match. Hopefully that, you know, made the air, but the next match was I forget now because I lost my train of thought. Okay, so it was the Falls Count Anywhere, Extreme Rules, Triple Threat, Elimination match in the Women's Athena Championship Tournament. Jonah Ramos versus Jenna Lee versus Brittany Mahomes. I thought this was a great match. What hurt my enjoyment of this match is I was getting text messages from people, you know, because I'm not watching Raw right now, so there was like, you know, I forgot I muted the Wrestling Rundown group chat, but I forgot to mute like other wrestling group chats. So that kind of hurt my enjoyment, and then somebody else was messaging me, so it kind of had to pause this match a lot. But other than that, I enjoyed the match. This is what I get for like not putting my phone in airplane mode this one time. So yeah, but I still thought it was a great match. My problem with this Athena Championship tournament is they haven't done like really any video packages or really given us any background history about these women other than the tail of the tape. And the tail of the tape is nice, you know, it shows their accolades and stuff, but I think we need more of a background history. We need to kind of have reasons to care about Colleen Horizon, have reasons to care about Brittany Mahomes, Lizzie Gray, Jenna Lee, stuff like that. Because you get invested, but you don't know anything about these characters, so it kind of hurts, you know, your enjoyment of the match. Because I think that's like the one drawback with this. At least with the Gold Rush tournament, we kind of get James Archangel, we get Michael X, so you get the point by now. But this was still a great match. Really loved it. One thing I also love about this show is that they've shortened the highlight reels now, because you know, it makes the show shorter. And I kind of like that they shorten them because basically you already watched the match. It makes it pointless to watch the match because people can just, you know, skip through the highlight reels and just say they watched the match. Not that I did that or anything, but I'm just saying it, you know, hurts it. Now James is gonna think I did that now, but I didn't. But this match was great. I gotta talk about Joanna Ramos. Her entrance and just her look is awesome. She just instantly has intimidation factor, which I love. And this match was great. They did tie in the fact that Brittany Mahomes and Jenna Ramos were like a tag team at one point. But they didn't really like work together that much. They did, but it really wasn't like intentional or anything like that. But they had a lot of good spots. I liked, you know, when Jenna Ramos tipped over the ladder while, you know, Jenna Lee and, I almost said Xia Lee, but that's NXT UK. Brittany Mahomes were on it, and like Brittany Mahomes went into the chair. The springboard corkscrew, you know, the double ladder hit, the double steel steps hit was awesome. I really just can't do this match justice. There's just so many extreme spots to break down. The Hurricanrana into the table, you know, the spear into the table, which was pretty cool. No, that wasn't the spear. It was like the flapjack through the table. The Educator, that was not the Educator. The Edge-O-Matic, that was awesome. I like the submissions that they did in this match. One flaw about this match I didn't like, though, is that people were breaking up pinfalls and submissions in an elimination match, and they tried to explain it by saying, you know, their emotions got the best of them and stuff, but, like, that just really doesn't make any sense to me. I really hate it in triple threat elimination matches when people are breaking up pinfalls or submissions. It's fucking stupid. So don't do that. But, you know, we had a code breaker take place in this match, a jackhammer. A lot of steel chair shots went down in this match, a wind bell shot. And eventually, Brittany Mahomes eliminated Jenna Lee with a code breaker in midair, which was really cool. I really liked that. I thought that was awesome. And then it came down to Brittany Mahomes and Joanna Ramos. And I wonder if Joanna Ramos is related to John Ramos. I'm obviously joking, but gotta say. And I wonder if she's related to Aunt Becky, because Aunt Becky is going to be paying for her to go to school. She wouldn't even need to do WYW, but that's a different joke for another time. I got to make that joke at least once. So, and we had a Hurricanrana through a ladder. That was awesome. A power bomb off a ladder onto like the steps. That was awesome as well. A moonsault. It was either a moonsault or an elbow drop through the announcer's table, because you only get like 2 options to do it with 2K14, so I'm just gonna assume it was a elbow drop. And you know, we had a flapjack code breaker, awesome. We had another jackhammer in the ring, and they did like a German suplex spot into like the steel steps and the ladder and the table that was set up. That was awesome. A superplex into it, that was awesome. A reverse DDT. But the finish finally comes when Joanna Ramos hits the jackhammer onto like the broken part of the announcer's table, the edge of the steps, and the edge and like the leg of the steel chair, and wins. Awesome stuff. Awesome match. 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was great. And yeah. I think I also didn't enjoy this match as much. I said it in the other take I did, but I forgot that I didn't say it here. I've been up since 7:30. I went to bed last night at like 2, so maybe I'm just tired and stuff. And I'm just kind of in like my meh feeling right now. But I still thought it was an awesome match. So yeah, awesome match. And now we get to the main event, I think, where it's going to be Michael X versus Brandon Curtis. I really want to see that match. So, and now, I guess I thought what was going to happen was it was going to be a fatal 4-way match. I guess they're going to do like 2 one-on-one matches. It's going to be Colleen Horizon now versus Joanna Ramos, which I think that match is going to be sick. I don't know who I want to win that match. I kind of want Colleen Horizon to win because I know her like in real life and stuff. But I think you know, Joanna Ramos has a good shot of winning, so that's pretty damn cool. But yeah, 4.5 stars. And let WYW, I think, is just gonna take over the stars now because you know, I have to keep pulling stars from the sky and just giving it to them. I think they're just gonna own all the stars. And this is like when I'm getting into my goofy moments. But I get to act this type of crazy because I literally had talked about myself in the third person, so I can act as crazy as I want. I'm gonna get made fun of now for that later, but whatever. Wow. We had the main event. It was Michael X versus Brandon Curtis in a Falls Count Anywhere, 2 out of 3 falls, Extreme Rules, Gold Rush tournament match, and this match was fantastic. This is definitely also a 5-star match. Like, there was not a thing wrong with this match. This match was awesome. Love the video package. You know how they have like this respect for each other, but kind of hatred for each other in a way because they don't want to lose this tournament match and they're standing in each other's way. But they both kind of have had to go through like the same stuff to get here. Like Michael X had to fight one of his best friends, James Archangel, and Brandon Curtis had to fight like the person that helped him not be homeless. I forget his name off the top of my head. And they both had struggles coming out of this, and they're both standing in each other's way. You know, you had Brandon Curtis who's beaten Michael X in the test matches, and yes, after the WYW Immortal show, I will review the test matches. You know, when I'm not watching WWE for like a month. You know, Michael X is talking about how even when it's snowing outside, he has the heat within him to go far in the tournament, and it's just an awesome video package. Go watch it; it's awesome, and this match is awesome. And I said before, I don't know what Michael X is, if he's a face or heel. I have my question answered. He is definitely a baby face, but he just acts cool. He's ruthless. He don't stand in his fucking way. And I really like that about his character. How if he wants to get something he wants, he's gonna fucking put you down. No matter even if whether he wants to or not. This match still was awesome. Michael X immediately started off with a spear. I thought that was awesome. And he dominates like the beginning 5 minutes of this match. He hits a flying clothesline on the outside. They fight on the stage. Michael X hits a DDT on the stage, a suplex on the stage. Brandon Curtis, Michael X hits like a reverse like DDT suplex right into the steps. But Brandon Curtis mounts a comeback. He hits a suplex, an exploder suplex, a moonsault from the top rope, a drop kick from the top rope. Just Brandon Curtis was refusing to stay down. Hits a future shock DDT. Michael X kicks out. And then they go for the weapons. You know, Brandon Curtis grabs a chair, hits Michael X off the head with it, and they both hit each other's with chairs a lot in this match. And then they get the replica championship belt. Brandon Curtis hits Michael X with the belt, and he busts him open. And he hits a DDT on the outside. He grabs a ladder, hits him with the ladder. You know, Michael X hits the... Brandon Curtis hits the Thunderstruck, but doesn't get the win. Michael X hits a superplex, and he hits his comeback. He hits the executioner bomb into the apron. Doesn't get the pinfall. They exchange submission holds on each other, which was pretty damn awesome with camel clutches and things like that. I just thought it was awesome. They used the steel steps on each other. But Brandon Curtis finally makes Michael X tap out with the STF, which was a hell of a moment. Michael X has never tapped out, and I thought it was pretty awesome. Brandon Curtis made him tap out. But that could have been the biggest mistake that Brandon Curtis ever made, because Michael X just fucking loses his shit and beats the shit out of Brandon Curtis. But he still can't quite get the win on Brandon Curtis. He hits, he does everything he can. He X-pluses him through the no, not X-pluses him, that's executioner power bombs him through the ladder. He executioner power bombs him into the steps. He hits him off the head with the steps. But then he tears apart the announcer's table and finally hits the executioner power bomb through the table. Gets the win. Well, he gets the second fall. And then they just really go to town on each other. Brandon Curtis hits the Thunderstruck onto the steps, onto the chair. He catches him into a Thunderstruck, which was fucking awesome. He hits him off the head with a crutch. He exploded suplexes him into the ladder, into the, steel steps, into the apron. He spears Michael X through the barricade, and he, hits him off the head with a wind bell. Goes for a Thunderstruck off the ladder, but Michael X turns it into his signature move. I forget the name of it off the top of my head because this match was just so awesome. And he hits it under the announcer's table. Michael X puts Brandon Curtis several times into a sleeper hold by running off the ropes, and he really tries to wail out Brandon Curtis to the point where Michael X is just telling him to stay down. But then eventually Michael X finally has to put him down. He big boots him into the steel post twice, and then hits choke slam off the ladder onto the top part of the announcer's table on the outside. Covers him and gets the win. And afterwards, Michael X shakes his hand in respect, and then that was that. But this match was absolutely awesome. I probably missed a lot of spots in the match, like Brandon Curtis wailing away at Michael X with a baseball bat. But this match was still all types of awesome. We had a lot of springboard clotheslines, over the steps. Just really go watch this match. I could break this down and talk about it for hours, but man, this match was just absolutely insane, and really was a 5-star match. And Michael X advances, which I'm happy about because I really like Michael X's character. I think it makes sense for him to advance. And now we're going to get a rematch that people have been waiting for since Test Match 1. The very first match ever to be uploaded on the WYW YouTube channel. James Archangel versus Michael X. The two biggest stars and the faces of WYW are going to clash in the semifinals. And I'm really excited about that. I believe when they squared off the first time, Michael X won. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. They've been friends, and came in. They were the first two, the WYW originals. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say about it. I'm really excited for that matchup. I don't know when it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen at the Mega event because I really don't think they can squeeze. They're gonna do it the next time because they got to squeeze in all of those quarterfinal tournament matches and stuff. So I think they're doing that match at the Mega event, which I'm really excited about that match. I really can't wait for it. They really should tear the house down. But yeah, this match absolutely was blocked, and I like the fact that it main evented. I was kind of thinking, James Archangel and Brett Mention should have main evented. This match I think stole the show. This match was awesome. I don't think any match would have been able to follow this. I thought this has been my favorite match of the tournament thus far. Just because of the storyline kind of that they had playing with each other, that, they had that respect with each other, but kind of had to put that aside towards the tournament. And Michael X just kind of finally had to execute Brandon Curtis. I really enjoyed this match. Go out of your way to watch it. And now that's basically my review. I'm gonna give my letter grade to this show, A+. You know, how can you not give a show that has 2 5-star matches on it an A+? But the women's match was awesome. I liked my match on the show, and everything they did to set up, you know, me and Chris versus, you know, that feud going on. And then, you know, I liked, yeah, it was just an awesome episode. And I'm really getting excited for Immortal now. I really can't wait for it, and I'm very excited. So an A+ show, really not a lot to go into detail about it. I even though I had some, you know, criticisms about stuff, it was still an A+ show. It really didn't hurt my enjoyment of the show. And yeah, I really can't wait for the next episode. But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell, so that way every time you upload a video, you guys get the notifications for it. And make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers and on the Talkinator YouTube channel. Check out the WYW YouTube channel, and that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.